Today is October 5th, 2016. Just wanted to make sure I had the date for preservation. And I have kind of been following Dragon Ball Super since this arc began with Future Trunks coming back. Um, and, we've had this new antagonist, Black, who people have wondered the identity for about, or identity of, rather. I'm sorry, I'm having a little thing in my chest. For the last 3 months. Um, until last week when we had spoilers leaked from Japan, which basically indicated that Black was really an alternate timeline version of Zamazu, a character that was introduced for this arc. Um, that already beforehand had two different counterparts. One in the main timeline who died a few episodes ago, and one who is still around, is apparently the other major antagonist besides uh, Black, who is apparently Zamasu anyway. Um, and since we found it out, I've had a few issues with it, um, both from I guess a storytelling perspective and just out of I guess it's a direction that I really didn't want the story to go in. I recall, I think it was episode 57, 58, whichever one it was, that ended with Zamazu revealing himself to be in cahoots with Black. He came down, he beamed down, he said, I'm working with him, or he said, you promised me I'd be the one that got to kill Goku. And I hope the TV is audible. He went off of, we went off of that, and we assumed, okay, these two are working together. And it was confirmed they were partners. But we didn't know that, the two of them were the same person. Um, and because of that, I thought it worked well to see two separate villains that, had that type of relationship, because we've never really had a partnership with villains on equal terms. They're both, strong, could take on the opponent by themselves. It's never really been present in Dragon Ball before. And I would know, I've watched the entire franchise. Closest thing to that really was the Super Android 13 movie, which even then that still was subordinates. These two seem to have been on the same level. Um, but that's that. So my first problem with the revelation is that it was so obvious when we first heard about Zamazu. Then we actually find out it's the truth. It's kind of like the whole Obito thing with Naruto, where it was so obvious that people were, that he was Toby. People were doubtful. They said, "No way, that can't be true. There's no way the creator would really, like, he would. No one would do that. They couldn't make it that obvious for us." And it was. It was exactly what people thought it would be, and that turned out to not be for the best, because we are kind of like a little bit of mystery. Um, being able to tell things a mile away isn't exactly the best case scenario, if you know what I mean. Um, but yeah, that was my first issue, that it was so obvious that it when you find out it's so annoying because everybody predicted it. And my other issues stem from the fact that we now have three different versions of the same character as an antagonist. I think that's a record for the most versions of one character to have any role in a story that's significant and spans across multiple episodes. Because I was really convinced the Zamazu from the present timeline was going to be this major villain. He was just going to keep, showing up and becoming more and more evil. They were going to drag this arc out from the 20, 30 episodes. And he gets killed by Beerus. Like, oh, well, that's it. um, I guess they figured they could just toss him aside. I guess that was when I was more interested in, because we were seeing him become evil. There's like a dark origin, if you know what I mean. So with the Zamazu in the future, we just barely start seeing him a little bit, and now when we learn that Black is also him, I kind of just rolled my eyes because it got to the point where I thought, okay, I can buy the one that we see here or in the future is the one from future Trunks' timeline. I can buy that the one that we saw in the present is the one from the present time. We know it's the one from the present timeline. What I can't buy is that there's a third version of this same character that just conveniently met up with his counterpart. But how? That I know we still have more episodes to come, but it just that's the first thing. Gave me fatigue of this character, and I already said the whole. It was so obvious that you really wouldn't think it was the case. Um, it's this is so just man. It doesn't ruin the arc for me. It just kind of I thought it was a bad move. I think it's really detrimental to the mystery we had going on at first. Oh, who could it be? Who could it be? Who could it be? And it really been excellent if the Zamazu thing turned out to be red herring, which is what I thought that him getting killed off was for. It was red herring. You thought he was the guy. He's not the guy. Look, he just died. Does that seem like the guy to you? That would have been the most brilliant idea in the world. But instead, they have his future counterpart, who basically is going down the path as well. And what I'm getting at is it was only red herring if one thought, which is what I initially believed, the future version or the present version, my mistake, would actually end up being similar to the one from the future and to Black, as we later found out after his death, post-mortem. Man, the same my throat is getting me. Wow. But yeah, it's a cop out. It's annoying. Um, I'm still watching. I'm still eagerly waiting for answers, and I'll certainly review the next episode if it comes out. I haven't been reviewing many of those because I watch those in Japanese and just be staring at pictures, and then the translations come out, I don't even want to read them, or watch it again. But I might. So thank you for watching, and have a good night. And don't have two alternate versions of yourself that are the same way. Change it up a little bit.